I will be some highlight on the structural evolution of phytochemicals. Mainly, I choose molecules like saponin because saponin contain a glycon and glycon part, means sugar and some other triterpene or steroid moiety. So here is a uh, here is a uh, two a glycon and glycon part present in the saponin. So I choose, and this is a very bigger molecule, and but simple the structurization. How we can simplify the structurization via NMR. Mainly, I will talk on NMR, and I will lastly present how other technique we use for the structurization. First, first I will give how we will work in the natural product research outline. First things, some uh, first first when we work in the natural product, first is we have to identify the problems. Means why we work for the natural product, for which disease or illness, or we have to explore the new molecule. For that problem, we have to identify the first problem. Then selection of plant material or microbes. There are the three basic methods. First is the literature, Ayurveda, Siddha, Unani medicine. From their reference, we can select the plant material or microbes. Then second, the bioactive guided, means we have to first basically extract some basically some small scale extraction process, and we have to test there for biological activity. Then random selection for phytochemical for novel plant and various chemical tests. For this way, we can select plant. Generally, sometimes we go for the random selection, and then shade dye the plant material. We have to shade dry plant materials. We then defatting. We do defatting for natural product. Defatting the plant material. First, do with the petroleum ether or hexane. In that extract we get low polar compound. Then residue is extracted from chloroform extract, chromatograph over silica gel. In that extract we get intermediate polar compound, and then residue extracted with methanol. Methanol extract, methanol extract we get some polar compound. Then we again that residue extracted with methanol water. Here we get uh, water extract. Here the mainly get polar, highly polar compound like saponin, uh, polyphenols like compounds, and in n-butanol also we get polar compound. Some saponin also we get in n-butanol extract. Here in water extract we have to do chromatography on Dynan HP20, Sepadex, LS20 with the help of flash chromatography and with the help of HPLC. Reverse phase technique here mainly used for the separation of highly polar compound. Then here the problems come for the structuralization. In structuralization, we have to know basic things like coupling constant, means cis coupling, trans coupling. Here is some trans coupling nearly 12 to 18 hertz, cis coupling 7 to 12 hertz, geminal coupling, vicinal coupling, ortho coupling. Mainly ortho coupling is 6 to 9 hertz, meta coupling 1 to 3, para coupling 0 to 1. And we have to remember solvent peak also in this uh, various coupling constants we have to remember. And also we have to know coupling means chemical shift value, aromatic region, aliphatic region, we have to uh, remember. And also we have to couplings like doublet, double doublet, triplet, how there is a from there we have to calculate coupling constant. This is some of the list of coupling constant, and I will not let each read list. I will further and some NMR experiment, important NMR experiment from 13th NMR. Experiment PND. PND is a proton noise decoupled spectra. Here is a generally previously there we get coupling in the 13th NMR, means CH CH carbon get doublet, CH3 get uh, uh, quadrate, and CH2 get triplet, and quaternary carbon get singlet. But PND spectra, we are decoupled. We get decoupled spectra. Then in this PND spectra, all carbon signal we get in positive, means positive signals, and yes, we get all positive signal with singlet, doublet, triplet, and quartet manner. This is a very difficult spectra. Means suppose in some molecule 30 carbon, and we get we get nearly 80 or 90 peaks. So it is difficult to manage those peaks. So we get normally we get PND spectra. Then APT. Here is a attached proton test. Here we get signals. Quaternary signals get negative signals. Tertiary carbon means CH get positive, CH2 carbon get negative signals, and primary carbon means CH3 carbon get quadrate. Here we can classify the carbon, which is CH2, which is CH3, which is CH3, or which is CH2. This NEPT experiment get, we not get quaternary carbon, all, and we get positive signal for CH2, negative signal for CH, and negative signal for CH3. In this way, we can classify which is CH2, which is CH3, and which is CH. But generally, we use DEPT 90 and 135. DEPT 45 also we do not use, but mainly we get maximum information on DEPT 90 and 135. In DEP 90, we get only CH carbon, and DEP 135 we get CH carbon get positive signals, CH2 get negative, and CH3 get positive signals. From PND spectra, we minus DEPT spectra, we get quaternary signals. We get quaternary carbon, and we can, if we minus DEPT 90 from DEP 135, we get CH2, and CH2 obviously we get CH2 negative peak, and we get CH3. Likewise, we can classify the which carbon is CH2, which carbon is CH, and which carbon is the CH2, which CH3. In this experiment, DEP experiment mainly used for the classify the carbon. And what information we get from proton NMR? Proton NMR information we get a number of carbon and types of carbon. And carbon NMR also we get information number of carbon and types of carbon. Types of carbon means carbonyl, double bond, aromatic, aliphatic, with the help of chemical shift value. 2D NMR, for only 1D NMR is not that much useful for the, means from only 1D NMR, we not elucidate the exact structure of the molecule, bigger molecule or novel molecule. In that case, we have to go for the 2D NMR. 2D NMR mainly we go for the COSY, NOISY, HSQC, HMBC. COSY is correlation spectroscopy. Means here proton and we get correlation for the proton and proton NMR. Proton and proton in two-dimensional spectra. NOISY, nuclear auroral effect spectroscopy. Here, COSY is a spectra in proton-proton correlation is through the bond, and NOISY through space. Means in spatial to proton distance to hydrogen is distance less than 5 angstrom, we get the noisy relationship. In noisy relation, mainly we find which is the same plane, which proton is the same plane, means some cis, trans, syn, anti-relationship we can get from the noisy. HSQC, only those signal we get correlation, hydrogen, which proton attached to which carbon, this signal, this information we get from the HSQC spectra. HMBC spectra, heteronuclear multiple bond correlation. From HMBC spectra, we get the distance, means mainly multiple bond correlation, means 3 bond correlation, 4 bond correlation. Mainly here is a 3 bond correlation is a strong correlation we get. in this HMBC means which carbon where is away from means proton away from where is the proton means we can find out the connectivity of the proton and carbon means with 3 bond or 4 bond correlation. And I would like to give some introduction of saponin. Saponin is the glycoside in soap like behavior. They get produce a foam in which shake with the water, and you know all this saponin is the soap like property is hardly to the RBCs like this. And there is a two types saponin, the steroid and triterpene. Mainly triterpene saponin based on the triterpene saponin based on the triterpene skeleton. These are the different types of triterpene skeletons. This is the basic triterpene skeleton. Other than means unusual triterpene skeleton also we means available, but mainly this type of triterpene present: alpha marine, beta marine, ursen, olenin, hopen, lopen. These are the olenin, hopen skeleton. These are the skeleton. In ursen and olenin skeleton, this basic difference is that this two CH3 position is different, and all are the triterpene contain 30 carbons. So we in NMR, when we get NMR, proton NMR, 13th NMR, this basic NMR character is there. In spectra, we have to count 30 carbon, then we can maybe say this is the triterpene skeleton, and some basic signal we get available in the means we found some basic signal means doublet, triplet like these signals, double bond signals like this double bond. It's specific region this we get in the spectra, so we can say which type of skeleton present in the present and which type of saponin or triterpene present in the molecule. The medicinal activities of plant generally due to the secondary metabolism which occurs in glycoside, steroid, terpenes, etc. Saponin are the steroid triterpene plant glycosides have distinctive property forming soapy leather when shaken with water. The glycan part of these compounds are mostly oligosaccharide arranged either linear or branch fashion attached to hydroxyl group. Acetyl linkage means if they attach hydroxy group, we can say ether linkage. If that attached to the acid group, that is the ester linkage, ester glycoside. Source mainly tomato, potato, beans, soybeans, here and other plant material. There is mainly saponin present. This is a different biological activity of the saponin. I would like to some isolation, because without isolation structure evolution is not possible. So we have pure molecule required. First, extraction. How we extract? Glycosides are the class particularly prone to enzymatic or microbial degradation. Processing of plant material need to the started soon after collection of avoid the delay. Because if microbial degradation happens, then glycoside linkage maybe break. So we have to, in case of saponin, we have to start soon after collection. Air-dried powder plant material is depleted and then extracted either with cold or hot methanol or ethanol, or with 50% aqueous ethanol or methanol at ambient temperature. Extract is macerated with the water and partition with successfully ethyl acid or N-butanol. In water and N-butanol partition required because of the mainly plant contain some inorganic material. So we have to remove that inorganic material. So we have to partition between water and water saturated N-butanol. Inorganic material goes with the water, and some water soluble glycoside also maybe go with water, but generally organic layer attract to organic molecule. So organic, mainly sometimes organic molecule retain, though it retain in the organic part, mainly in butanol, and that in that case we have to do n-butanol fractionation. So avoid the chromatographic problems. So we with the inorganic material, we have to fractionate with n-butanol and water. And although molecule is water soluble, but it comes in the n-butanol. Maximum time it comes in the n-butanol. Most saponins found in the n-butanol soluble fraction. However, the polar glycoside may be found in the aqueous layer, means that contain more than 5 sugar or 8 sugar. That glycoside we get in the water soluble. Up to 4-5 sugar, that saponin we get in the n-butanol layer. Chromatography over Dynan sp20 using water and water methanol mixture as related. Chromatography over Tepadex and silica gel, if required, sometimes required the HPLC, reverse phase HPLC. And detection of the problems, saponin are not UV visible. It may show some absorbance at 210 nanometer in HPLC, but we need to detector like LSD or RI detector. Now previously we use the RI detector, but now mainly we use LSD detector. And in this case, mainly this Dynan HP20, Sepadex LH20. This is the material, Sepadex material we use for the natural product isolation. That Dynan Sepadex, other Sepadex G size, that is not useful for the isolation of the natural product. Mainly Sepadex LH20 we use for the isolation of the saponin or polar compound in natural product. Structurization of, mainly now I will start the structurization of saponins. Saponin are the composed of two parts, glycon and aglycon. So conventional method is structurization the acid hydrolysis, alkaline hydrolysis. Acid hydrolysis used for the ether linkage, alkaline hydrolysis used for the ester glycoside, and sometimes we acid sensitive or alkaline sensitive group available, then we have to do specifically enzymatic hydrolysis, glucuronidase, beta glucosidase, like we have to first hydrolysis and then sugar and trityrene part we have to separately characterize. And with the 2D also, means not always required for the hydrolysis, but sometimes novel compound and exact structurization. In that case, we have to do hydrolysis and then sugar identification of sugar also we have to do. And sugar identification, sometimes we use GC. GC first modify the sugar with acylation, and we run in GC. And with the help of standard, we get which sugar, either glucose, galactose, xylose, rhamnose. We get sugar information of sugar from the GC. For structurization of saponin, 1D NMR for PMR and CMR not enough, then we go for the 2D HSQC or 8-4. Now we mainly use for HSQC, HMBC, OZ, and noisy, and DAPT. Some basic information of this signals, where we signal come from 13C NMR spectroscopy. We get how number of carbon atoms. Means saponin contains suppose 2 sugar, means 30 carbon from the glycon part and 12 carbon signals from glycon part, means sugar. So we can get exactly 42 signals in 13C NMR for the that saponin. Means we have each carbon is different, so we get different signal at each carbon. Glycosylation shift, the glycoside carbon signals downfield about 7 to 12 ppm due to alpha effect. Means where is the that sugar glycosylated carbon, means anomeric carbon shift nearly 80 to it shift 12, 87 to 12 ppm due to alpha effect, and esterification at C28 position it comes at 180 to 176. Means acid carbon get at 180, and if esters then it get 176. If OH group we some OH group attach, then it shift downfield up to 10 ppm. Downfield, if introduction of OH group is known to result downfield shift of 35 to 55 ppm for the alpha carbon atom, up to 10 ppm beta carbon atom, and upfield shift up to 8 ppm for gamma carbon for the Gauss relationship. For sugar unit, anemic carbon resonate between 90 to 97 ppm present ester glycoside. If ester linkage present, or anemic carbon get 90 to 97 ppm. If ether linkage present in the our saponin, or saponin, ether means it sugar attached to OH, then we get 100 to 110 ppm. And we can get how many number of sugar attached simply counting the anomeric carbon. It get different region. So we get number of sugar attached with the help of anomeric carbon. That number of anomeric carbon we get that number of sugar present in the molecule. Non-aromatic carbon peak observed between 60 to 80 ppm. Deoxy sugar get additional methyl signals around 17-20 ppm. Means in case of RAM nodes, we get one methyl signal extra at 17 to 20 ppm. The molecular formula obtained from the high resolution mass spectrum in the combination of PND spectra. Means PND spectra and DAPT spectra, we all this information, with the help of information we can get molecular formula. Shabir? Sorry. From proton NMR, although most of sugar proton resonate in narrow range 3 to 4 ppm, leading to much overlap, even then at least anomeric proton clearly distinguishable. Means this sugar proton resonate between 3 to 4.5 ppm, but anomeric signal we get 4.1 to 6.4 ppm, and with the coupling constant 6.5 to 9 and 1.24. If sugar is the beta beta attachment, then coupling constant is 6.5 to 9 hertz, and if sugar is the alpha, then 1.5 to 4 hertz. We get this type of coupling constant. We can get information also with coupling constant alpha attachment or beta attachment attached sugar from this information. Resonance of sugar anomeric carbon found in 96 to 112 ppm. In general, we can conclude that anomeric carbon signal obtained at 96 to 112 ppm, while non-aromatic carbon range 60 to 90 ppm, which provide information about number of monosaccharide units present and sometimes about the nature of glycoside linkage. Means ester or ether linkage. Nature of glycoside means is ether or ester linkage. Glycosylation clause downfield shift 7 to 12 ppm for the alpha carbon, and upfield shift of 2 to 5 ppm for the beta carbon. In case of 2D NMR, I will explain in the directly on spectra. Some spectra also I here. Many sequentially identified in case of the CODI, NODI, headcore. In CODI spectra, sequentially identified the proton signals of the monosaccharide. Means which proton couple with which proton, we get this information for CODI spectrum. In HSQC, which proton for which carbon we get, means which proton for which carbon we get this relationship from the HSQC. And from HMBC, HMBC, while sugar is branch fashion or linear fashion attached, we can get from the HMBC spectra. The presence of interglycosidic NAV nuclear order effect from the anomeric proton, in particular sugar residue to proton of their sugar or non-sugar residue sapogenine, defines the glycosidic linkage between two residues. Means any relationship between the glycosidic or glycan and glycan molecule relationship, we can find their relationship of attachment, either which position it is attached. NAV correlation are most often observed between the anomeric proton and proton connected to the carbon atom of the linkage. This has been found to be wide applicability of the structure determination of naturally occurring glycoside. Means a more effective way to determine the sugar linkage and sequence is detect long-range coupling, CJ coupling across the glycoside bond. Means mainly we do HMBC correlation for glycoside linkage, analysis of glycoside linkage. Means when sugar is attached to linear fashion or branch fashion, from this relationship we get from HMBC correlation. Arborane, here is the one example. Arborane, the saponin with two sugar. Here is the IR of this sugar, this saponin. Saponin is mainly get information about the functional group, hydroxy and double bond acid. From here we get mainly information of functional group. From mass, this type of mass we get. This is the Fab mass. Fast upon ionization we did here Fab. Fast atom bombardment ionization method we use, and this mass we get from this molecule, and this is the soft ionization technique. For this case we get whole molecular mass. This is the M plus Na. So mass we get 1819. It's a proton NMR. This is proton NMR we did in the pyridine, mainly saponin and tritterpene steroid molecule NMR we have to do specifically in pyridine for non-overlapping of the molecule signals. See, this is the pyridine peak present in the spectra, and this is the saponin peak in the spectra. Though it is distinguishable which peak we get in the pyridine. And in flavone case, we get we will do flavonoid glycoside, flavonoid and flavonoid glycoside case. We have to do NMR in the DMSO or sometimes methanol. Mainly we flavonoid mainly we have to do NMR in the DMSO. Likewise, we have to choose the solvent based on the molecule structure. And here this molecule we get the singlet and doublet. Here we get the one doublet for this methyl group. Here is this is a doublet. Other is a singlet. We can count this singlet doublet. This type of mainly spectra we get for the tritterpene and tritterpene saponin like molecule. And this is the sugar region. This is the sugar region. Here is the anomeric region, and here is the double bond. This is the different regions, and this is the other aliphatic region of the molecule. This this is the integration, and this is the chemical shift value. Now we in the old spectra, so we get down chemical shift value, but we can top the spectra also we get chemical shift value. From HRMS exactly, this is the molecular weight exactly up to 4 digit we have to exact molecular weight we have to get. This is m plus na we get 119 point this is molecular weight we get for this molecule, and from here we can generate the molecular formula. In proton NMR we get 7 methyl signals. These are the singlet and this 1.1 is the doublet. One olefinic double bond get 7.8 hertz with J coupling on 7.8 hertz. This is the olefinic spectra we get. Olefinic proton we get here for one proton, and anomeric protons get at the 4.93 coupling constant 7.6 and 5.49 coupling constant 7.6. This is the all are the beta attached. This 13C spectra for the this type of the molecule, saponin type of the molecule. Here we get the 42 signals of the molecule. These 2 signals for the double bond, these 2 signals for the anomeric carbon, and other is this signal for sugar and tritterpene. Sugar signal from 60 to 80 region, 80 60 to 80 85 region is the sugar signals, and these are the other shifted signal is the for the anomeric carbon. From anomeric carbon we can say how many sugar. These two anomeric carbon we get, we can say to two sugar attached to the our glycol part. And this is the for acid carbon, and this is the DEPT 90 and DEPT 135 expand, and this is the below is the PND spectra, carbon spectra of the molecule. In this middle spectra is the depth 90. Here we get only CH carbon. Okay, and in depth 135 we get CH, CH3 and CH2 negative. From and quaternary carbon absent in the depth spectra. So see, the carbonyl carbon is not present in here. This signals not present in this the two spectra. This signal present in CH. Likewise, we have to classify the carbon which is CH2, CH, CH3 based on the DEPT X point. See, anomeric carbon we get this region. For this region, this is the ether linkage. See, this is the ether linkage. If it attached to ether linkage, it gets some uphill. These two both are the ether link anomeric carbon. This is the information we get from 13C NMR. This one double bond we get 143 and 117. So one double bond signal, one signal, these two double bond, one signal is present for CH3 and another signal not present for this carbon. We can also can see which carbon for their exact chemical shift for their double bond or molecule, means their chemical shift. Two triplet signal at CH3 and CH2 suggested that hexadenine might be glucose galactose. It is a triplet signal. Triplet signal written because of the CH2. In case there is a writing part, we single. This is only one peak, but we say triplet because CH2 get triplet. CH2 n plus one means get triplet. These two signals get negative, because we can say this molecule is the either glucose or galactose. This is the this two CH2 get differently in the sugar carbon different, and we get from this information we can conclude this is glucose or galactose. This is a head core, or we can say HSQC spectra, which uh, proton for which carbon. From here we can identify which carbon for linked to the which proton. Means this, suppose we can say this is the carbon signal we can get, and this correlate with the this. Means this carbon get signal correlate with the proton NMR. So we can say this is the double bond proton, and here also this is a overlapping, that anomalic carbon also anomalic proton in overlap this here. So also we get anomalic signal in this same region, same molecule. This is the overlap or anomalic proton and anomalic that double bond carbon, double bond proton. So this is this two signal, two carbon correlate with this region, and we can magnify these signals. Exactly we can get which that uh, carbon for which proton. Likewise, another anomeric carbon protons we can identify with this signal correlate with this signal. So we can say this is the second anomeric proton. Likewise, we have to assign the all carbon and all proton with the help of HSQC, and then we have to correlate it. This is the HMBC spectra, more complicated than HSQC. Here we get all type of correlation, means which proton nearby which carbon, means long range coupling we get, mainly 3J coupling. So through bond we can connect it, and more carbon, one proton can couple with two three carbon. So we get more correlation, or one carbon correlated with many protons. So we get more than one or more than two three correlation in this HSQC, sorry, HMBC spectra. So we have to identify correlation between the carbon and proton, multiple bond correlation, and we have to go for the means, we have to conclude the which is where is the attachment of that group or that carbon exactly. And after that, uh, assess all exercise, we have to conclude this in the figure. This is the basic skeleton, and see, this is the blue. Cozy is the means which proton attachment in the one two nearby proton we get cozy relationship. So this solid line we draw for the cozy relationship. For noisy dotted line, HMBC blue line. See, for HMBC, this anomeric carbon correlated with this third position of the sugar first. So we can conclude that this sugar attached to the third position of the first sugar. From the HMBC correlation, we can conclude that which is the position attachment of position. And from HMBC also which this anomeric proton correlate with this 3J coupling. 1, 2, 3 bond correlation. Here is also 1, 2, and 3 bond correlation. From this we get this molecule, and from this information we can say this way is the attachment is present in this molecule. And this type of correlation in noisy, see, mm, this proton and this proton get noisy correlation. This anomeric and another this proton get noisy correlation, because these two proton are in the one plane or in space near distance less than the 5 angstrom. And mm, here this methyl proton and here this proton means one second number proton we get noisy relationship. And likewise many signal noisy uh, this uh, proton and this proton we get noisy relationship, means this proton present in the same plane, is same plane or same phase. So we can say these are the same phase. So we can say these are the cis or syn proton. So for this information, we can say axial, equatorial presence, and their stereochemistry of the molecule we can identify with the uh, noisy experiment. And connectivity of ring also we from this HMBC and noisy signals we can connectivity of ring also identify which ring connectivity, means HMBC experiment. If the important experiment we can find get connectivity of the molecule, connectivity in the molecule present in the molecules, other group present in the molecule, different group present in the molecule. That connectivity we can find in with the help of HMBC signals. This is the all I speak already. And also we get ring for identification of the ring. Roisy experiment also we can do sometimes. Rotational spectroscopy means all one ring proton, all proton get correlated with this experiment. That correlation we get in Roisy experiment, rotational spectroscopy. This also 2D NMR experiment. The anomalic proton signals H1 and H1 appear at the doublet, indicating the beta configuration of the both glucopyranosyl unit. And these HMBC signals and HFC signals, both sugar are the we can linkage also find with the help of the HMBC connectivity signals with the help of this. And from chemical shift values, we can conclude that both are the sugars are the glucose. Noisy connectivity of signals H1 at 5.49 of the terminal glucose, and with that H2 of the inner glucose, and signals of H1 at 4.93 of the inner glucose. With that H3 3.24, a glycan moiety confirms that the sugar and sugar are sugars and sugar glycan linkage we can find with the noisy signal. This uh, this noisy signals connectivity means this proton sorry this proton connected to the this proton, this noisy connection relationship we can get connectivity of this molecule HMBC and noisy signals. How this connected we can find with this is of the HMBC and noisy. Thank you for that supplying, and other some are also important signals we get from this NMR. This is the question is the how will you differentiate with the falling molecule by NMR? This is the three triterpene molecules: ursulic acid, olenic acid, and betonic acid. All three molecules have same mass. From mass, we cannot differentiate these three molecules. Then all have 30 carbons. We all get 30 signals in this NMR. So how we differentiate? First, we take example of ursulic acid and olenic acid. Here is a double bond of this. See, this double bond resonates between C12 carbon at 125 to 126 and C13 carbon at 139 to 140 in case of Ursen skeleton. If skeleton is olenin, this double bond resonates in different way. This C12 signals at 112 to 123 and C13 carbon we get signals at 140, 44 to 144. These main signals we can get information about Woodsen skeleton or line. Another example is here we get all singlet for methyl 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Here in this Olean skeleton we have 7 methyl present in the Olean skeleton, and we get all 7 singlet for 3 proton NMR. We get 7 singlet, but here we get 6 singlet and 1 doublet in case of the Woodsen skeleton. Okay, and other DAPT spectra. So once changes, then we can see this is the doublet. So this one CH we get in extra. Here we one CH2 we get extra in case of the depth 135, and we get less CH in case of the olenic acid. In betonic acid case, this CH2 signal DAPT spectra is a distinct signal, means mainly you get it 110 ppm. This CH2 we get 110 ppm. Actually, this double bond other case of CH2 we get signals at nearly maximum 30, 40, 50, 30 to 50 ppm. But in this type of molecule, we get signals at 100 and nearly 109 to 110 ppm. Then we can say it is a betonic acid or lupin skeleton present in the molecule. So this is some illustration of natural product and synthetically modified natural product. Some two example I will give, means how we will go for the structurization and how that exactly we go, which experiment we know. Here is a one new molecule isolated, is novel molecule isolated from the Arolaneta plant, with the other 12 known molecule isolated from isolated diterpene skeleton. So we get noisy HMBC and signals, and finally also we if X-ray crystalline molecule, we can go for the X-ray. From X-ray, we get exact configuration of the molecule. If X-ray is available with you, then this much X-ray is not required. Only we have to correlate this molecule in the spectra. If X-ray is not available, then we have to go for the with all same exercise, and we have to conclude. If X-ray available, then we can go for the directly we get structure from X-ray. Likewise, and this sometimes we have to draw a molecule like in this chair and board form. So show the correlation. So you can see these two beta proton get correlation, this above the plane molecule axial, this two axial once this CH2 and uh, that this proton get correlation, this and this get correlation, this and this get correlation, this and this methyl signal and proton get correlation. Means this figure exactly we get noisy. We have to draw this figure on the basis of the noisy spectra, two-dimensional spectra, and this is the OG and HMBC. This type of exercise we have to do for the structurization of the natural product molecule. And this is synthetically modified curcuminoids. This published in the organic letter. I did this reaction on the curcumin analog, this two double bond, adenosine cyclization. In one single reaction, we get 4 isomers. All 4 isomers have same molecular weight, same mass, and all same. So how we differentiate in the this molecule? You see, this is a very highly difficult to identify what is the difference between these 4 molecules. So this is this case is difficult to for structurization. We have to do lot of exercise for characterization. This exact structurization, this 4 molecule required nearly 8 months required for me to wait for the fix the structure of this molecule. In this reaction, this in 4 isomer we get this relationship between these two are diastereomers, these two are diastereomers, and in between relationship these are the regioisomers. And each molecule we have another pair of their enantiomer. Enantiomer we not differentiate different signal. Enantiomer racemic mixture get same NMR. NMR. This is the not different NMR we get in racemic mixture case. So in we have to if we have to do chiral molecular NMR, in that case sometimes you can use chemical shift reagent. Then we can differentiate the two enantiomer. In this case we can do we did chiral HPLC for all molecule, but we went only one with chiral HPLC and this CD. These are the two enantiomer in chiral HPLC, and this CD. You can see this plus and minus enantiomer exactly mirror image of CD spectra we get. This type of spectra get in generally we get for chiral molecule. Then if we do confirm the absolute configuration, you have to do match experimental CD and theoretical CD. Means DFT calculation, we have to do DFT calculation on the Schrodinger, and we have to match the CD curve with this type of the molecule. Means this type of our experimental CD and theoretical CD spectra we have to match together, and we can do absolute configuration of the molecule. Means exact which which signal is R, which is S, which above the plane, which is the below plane. Exactly we draw this possible molecule structure, and then we have to do theoretical CD. And otherwise we have to separate this type of molecule in chiral HPLC resolution, chiral resolution we have to do, and then differentiate differently we have to do here crystallization and X-ray. Then we can get exactly absolute configuration of the molecule. Likewise, these mechanistic pathways we did, and we also do 7 molecule X-ray structure. Some are represented here. This X-ray structure. From X-ray structure we get this is one of the molecule, but in this X-ray also in same crystal structure crystal, we get another enantiomer, which is all only one, but that here is present another one also. If we separate it by Chiral HPLC, then we can do differentially X-ray. Then we get absolute configuration of this plus and minus of molecule. This type of correlation also we have to do means HMBC, COSY, NOSY. HSQC will not correlate because which carbon attached to which proton we get HSQC signals. Means this type of correlation we have to means that HSQ signal which carbon attached to which proton already we get, means exactly we get. So HMBC correlation and COSY noise is required to draw in this type of. Thank you, sir.